From our side here, just to get started, we have Anna Velasquez here with me. Anna is the Learning Solutions Director. We have Jason King supporting on the other side. And my name is Paulo Gelzer. Some of you I know personally, some didn't have that pleasure yet, but it's a great pleasure to be here with you and seeing you all here. So today we will have 3 retailers presenting. Each retailer will give a presentation of companies, and if you have a quick question, you ask. If not, after we will have a presentation, Q&A session, sorry. So I ask you to, if you are coming in now, just mute your phone so you can hear clearly the presentation. We will have a presentation around 45 minutes, and then the Q&A, and then we will not exceed 1 hour, so you can plan to be back on your schedule and doing what you need to do after. We ask those retailers, that group, the kind group that is participating here, to give us an idea of what worked in their organization and how they manage the online training. And we had 3 retailers that stepped up and from this group that did, let's say, were in the top users 2015. And we have Sally, which will be talking to us in a little bit, which is the training project manager for Metcalf's in Madison. They have 3 stores. It's a family-owned business. It's the 5th generation, and she has been running, and they have, as you can see, 550 associates there working in the store. I will make this presentation available. I got permission from all the speakers, so if you have interest later, this presentation will be available. We will have also Tahira McCoy, the training coordinator for Healthy and Home Market in Charlotte. They have a single store operator. She's doing a good job. She's a new member, and I thought the way that she launched recently would be something that everybody could learn with it. And then we have Steve May from Surf Market. Steve and Kelly, they are in California, and they're going to be presenting on, obviously, their experience, and we have an owner's perspective, which is great to have. So, without further ado, I would like to start this presentation. I don't know if anybody has questions. You could use the chat on the right side. Jason is monitoring this, and you can get the information about this seminar later if you want. So going forward, then I would like to start with Sally, and Sally will give her experience, and she's been using, the company's been using since February of 2015. You all know we went to a transition on the new platform, and she's been using that platform. So Sally, I could give you then the control to you, or I can switch the whatever you prefer. I think we talked about you getting the control, so please, I will pass you the control right now.
Okay, thank you.
And I will make you just 1 second here. We will go all to Sally computer, and we'll make you the presenter now. And you are now on Sally's computer, so, and she will present about her case. So Sally, you just need to open your your PowerPoint now. They are all seeing your presentation.
All right, just one moment. All right, so everybody can see my screen?
Yes, I can.
All right.
Some of you are on mute, so I will mute mine now too. But if you are, we can, so probably everybody can see it.
And everybody can hear me?
Yes, we can, Sally.
Oh, good, good. Well, this is a presentation that I prepared to share with you the training program at Metcalf's Market in Madison, Wisconsin, and our store in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. Powell, I'm not able to change my screen, to advance my screen.
Your computer, as you normally do, you just in the bottom is an error there.
That's what I'm doing.
Click. Here we go.
All right, here we are. So I thought we would start with our timeline and how we got involved with NGA. We started looking around in 2013 and 2014. Owners of our store were at the NGA convention, or the grocery convention in Las Vegas. We signed a contract in January, about March of 2015, and we took the next couple months to get organized. We're a college town, and unique to us is our business slows down in the summer, and so we decided to initiate the program with users during the summer, during the slow months. We have a trainer that was selected from each one of the departments in each one of the 3 stores, and the trainers started taking their specific learning plans during the summer. Beginning in September of 2015, we entered all of our new hires. So trainers and new hires came into the program at that time. The store directors asked us to take a hiatus during November and December. A few people did participated in training, but we did not require them to go full force. In January of 2016, a couple months ago, we entered all of our employees into the program, a total of about 550, and our goal was to have everybody take one course. So we asked that during the month of January and February, every employee take the OSHA HAZCOM course, and so that every employee is familiar with the program and how it works, and so we're proceeding from there. Okay, I'm not.
If you click on the screen, should do it, or on.
Okay,
here.
There we go.
Here we go. Oh.
All right, so here is an introduction to how we manage the NGA account. The person that I report to, her name is Amanda Metcalf. She's Director of Employee Development. She kind of is our HR person and lots of other things. I'm the training project manager, and really the whole thing is my responsibility. So I do all of the communicating, adding new hires, deleting terms or retirees. I prepare reports for store directors and for Amanda. I update courses, I prepare learning plans, and I stay in communication with the trainers. Whoops. The store directors right now monitor the program, make announcements in their weekly store meetings. They get all of my reports right now, and they are also responsible, and I'll talk about this later, of being sure that people are scheduled for training. The department heads each selected a staff member to be the trainer in their department. They are given certificates of completion at the manager's meeting every week, and they follow up. They distribute the certificates and follow up with the employees who are taking the training program. Really, the person that's the most the people that use this more as much as I do are the department trainers, and it was their responsibility to take the NGA online learning plan for their department. They are familiar with the iPads and how to use them. They can troubleshoot for us. They assist new hires and employees into getting onto the iPad, getting into NGA, and they are also our on-the-job trainers. So they transition what they've learned in the learning plans to the actual hands-on training of people in their department. We're using iPads for this project. We purchased, I believe, 6 or 8 iPads for each one of the store locations. They're located at the service counter. Employees check out an iPad when they're going into training. We had gave each one of the employees a set of earbuds to start with, and they can buy a second set for $1 if they misplace it. So the service counter is really responsible for hanging on to those iPads. HR sends me a weekly report of the new hires and terms, and I input that into NGA so that everything is current. I enter all the new hires in their learning plans and do deletions. If there's noise behind me, I'm a school administrator and the kids are changing classes, so I apologize for the little commotion behind me. The learning plans that we've developed fall into these categories: bakery, deli and cafe, cashiers, service counter, utility clerks, the floral department, grocery, frozen and dairy, grocery food finder, loss prevention, specialty cheese, produce, wine, beer, and spirits, meat, and seafood. All of the learning plans were designed specific to the skills required for the department that the learner is in. We also have some general essential courses that we include in all learning plans, and they're listed there: sexual harassment, business ethics, selling solutions, emotional intelligence, LP1, and customer service and professionalism 1 and 2. One of the things that we allow the store directors and the department heads to do is request that we assign a specific employee to a specific class. So if there's an issue with customer service and professionalism, or a sexual harassment issue, or somebody that needs enrichment in a particular area, we can add another course to any one of the employees' learning plans or coursework. So the way we've managed this has been one of the hardest things to do. Our decision was, the decision we made, that we would ask that everybody involved in the program schedule 1 hour of training a week for all the shifts. We were with a time management program that really was difficult to use. The department heads had to schedule, for example, schedule me for, if I had a 4-hour shift, they would have to hand schedule me 1 hour in training and 3 hours in the department that I was working in. We're in the process of going on board with a company that's going to handle time and attendance, where you can swipe, actually use your ID swipe to swipe into your department, swipe out of your department, swipe into training. Swipe into training and swipe out of training. We're hoping that the people are able to schedule 2 hours a week. It just kind of depends on how how well staffed our departments are at the time. So the communication that I am responsible for, I do a weekly meeting with Amanda Metcalf, the Director of Employee Development, to keep her current on the program. I send weekly emails to the store directors. It's the list of employees who have been added or deleted, a progress report on the people that are in learning plans, and I send certificates of completion as well. I'm in email communication with the trainers on an as-needed basis. I visit the stores when I can. I don't work in any of the stores. This is I'm a consultant to Metcalf's. I've worked with them, for 5 years, but I am now a consultant. So I go into the stores. I mean, next week is my spring break, and I'm going to be visiting all the stores and meeting all the trainers. And then I am in close contact, as Jason will tell you, and Anna, with NGA for support. Whoop. So I guess I went over that. Those are the types of reports that I do, and I have designed them so they're directly emailed to me every Friday morning. So sometime Friday evening or over the weekend, I prepare reports because our managers' meetings are all on Monday. How we motivate our trainers. We pay our trainers an additional $1 an hour while they're taking courses, training others online, or while they're giving on-the-job training. We've purchased recognition pins that they wear so that they stand out from other employees, and it really does trigger a lot of communication and conversation with customers as well as their teammates. We really are trying to make the trainers feel a part of the team. We're asking them to critique courses. We're listening to them as far as what they would add to courses. Their suggestions have been very valid, and we have altered learning plans based on what they've done. Of course, they garner recognition and from management, and we have an electronic bulletin board in each of the break rooms that we use to feature the trainers as well as progress in the training program. If I had to tell you what the challenges were, Amanda and I sat down Monday night and talked about this. We have a very low unemployment rate in Madison, and we find ourselves understaffed sometimes at very critical times, and so we're in a continual hiring cycle because of it. The example that I'll give is that all of our college students will be leaving in a month from now, so we'll be pretty lean in the summer, which helps us, but we still are always in the hiring cycle, I guess I would say. Managing the training online training time in an employee's schedule has been a challenge for us in that it's difficult to work with the time and attendance program that we had, but we are now have a new one that we hope is going to be much better. We also are looking for suggestions on how other people handle printing and distribution of certificates. We'd like to streamline that process if we can, get a new idea. What we would do differently if we were starting up again. We would upload all employees at the very beginning. We only loaded trainers, and then we started new hires, and then we had help from Jason uploading everybody, and what happened is we had lots and lots and lots of duplicates. And so culling the list of duplicates has, it took about a good month of time just because I kept tripping over the same person twice. We are also going to open up the NGA training and make it more of an enrichment opportunity for employees. So we are not going to make employees stay on their learning plan. If somebody, an example that Amanda and I always use, if somebody just has a passion for avocados and wants to know more about avocados and they're in the floral department, they are very welcome to take the avocado course. We are also going to do some internal marketing on the NGA training program and kind of do a real rah-rah promotion for it on the electronic boards and in the break rooms. We're going to post course lists and do some encouraging so that people can take courses, encourage them to take courses even if they're not enrolled right now. What we're going to do is start assigning learning plans to experienced employees. We kind of are hitting the top most experienced employees and the new hires, so we need to get the people in the middle into this program. We're designing an employee newsletter that we're going to use to help promote the training. Again, we're going to encourage employees to take classes outside their specialty, and we have decided that we're also going to get recognition pins for the employees who complete their entire learning plan. I didn't mention the length of time of our learning plans. Most of our learning plans have, I'm going to say 15 to 18 courses in them. And so it is quite a feat to finish all of the entire learning plan. And so we're going to make a much bigger deal out of employees who cross the finish line and award them with pins as well. I'm very open to questions, or if you want, Paulo, you want to wait for questions till the end?
Well, if somebody has a pressing question, we can do it now. If not, we will move on. Sally, thank you so much. I think you gave a great idea. I don't know, people out there who have a quick question. Anybody would like to, if you have a pressing question. If not, we will do another session in the end after the 3 presentations. But Sally, thank you very much. Very well organized. I think your experience in education helped, and looks like a great program. And obviously, I think what you did with the learning plans and the idea of uploading everybody up front, obviously this is a new feature. People that were in the old system couldn't do that. So we have this LMS has tremendous features now. So great presentation. If you could give the control back to me, I will pass to our second speaker of the day. And
okay,
so anybody out there has any questions or something?
So how do I change presenter?
Yeah, that's correct. You change presenter.
And who should I give it back to you?
You give it back to me.
Okay. You know, one thing that I didn't say that is important. When I first designed the learning plans, I had a lot of prerequisites, and what we did is we wanted our people to take courses in very, very specific order. And we got some, after a couple months, we learned that isn't how people wanted to take the classes. And so we removed all of the prerequisites, and we're letting our employees take the courses in the order that they want within their learning plan. They are much happier, the trainers are much happier, the department heads are much happier, because they can send somebody right to a specific course rather than having them have to go through 3 or 4 prerequisites to get to some very valid information that the store director or the department head wants them to have.
Very good point, Sally. Actually, we second that motion from here, from what we see. Obviously, adults like to have control in there. Adults, learners have that feeling, and they want to direct their own pace. And I think that is great. So if nobody has questions, I think, Tahira, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Great. Well, thank you. So our second person presenting today is Tahira McCoy, as I introduced in the beginning, and Healthy and Whole Market is the name of her store. And Tahira will be talking. We'll be doing the transition here. So welcome, Tahira, and let me know when I should change. So the floor is yours, so to say. Thank you for being here, and thank you, Sally, again.
Thank you, Sally. That was awesome. So I'll just start with the first slide, and this is the presentation that was used for our rollout meeting. And I started off with our mission, and I figured, you know, this has been our mission for years, but just beginning with this NGA site or just the retail learning, I felt like our mission screamed out that we train, and we train more efficiently. So the style of training that we had before was really informal. So now this brought a lot more structure to the table, having NGA. So I started off with our mission and allowed the company or the employees to go over the mission so they can see why it's important for us to do this training site, and how it would be beneficial. So next slide. I then proceeded to go over what training is all about. And I thought this quote was really cool to think about, you know, how retail could be really crazy at times, but you don't have to be crazy to work here because we'll train you. Just to, you know, spice it up, you know, keep it fun and interesting. You know, sometimes the employees may look at training as another task or something that is actually optional. However, it's not optional. It's definitely a part of operations. So I basically went down the list of what training is, why we train, who will supply it, and what types we'll offer. And then explain to them more how we'll be evaluating and tracking the training. You can go to the next slide. We then covered a little bit more about the importance of training, the development, the investment that we're going to put into it, how it'll improve, and then the implementation process. You can go to the next one. Then we went over the benefits and then the training gaps. Definitely tying or bridging the gap between management and the employee and showing how important it is for the manager to be on board. You know, it's nothing worse than trying to train or be focused or be on topic and then someone over you doesn't even believe in what you're doing. So just getting the management on board. We actually met with the management first. So we rolled out everything with the management as far as when we were going to train, whose responsibility was to schedule them to train, how to do the coaching, how to boost the morale of their employees so we can continue to train on a regular basis. We can go to the next slide.
Sorry, a little delay there, but it's working.
No problem. Then I thought it was really important, before we even dive into learning about the site, to talk a little bit more about their learning style. Although we have the modules, we still have a lot of different individuals who all have different learning styles that they use better. So we went over what is your learning style and how to identify that, so while they're taking the modules or doing any of the other trainings, that they'll be able to use that to their advantage to really retain the information that is being poured out to them. Oftentimes, we'll have a lot of individuals sitting in front of the module, and if they're not a visual learner, you know, if they need hands-on, it may be difficult for them to retain the information that's given to them. So we went over that a little bit just so they can identify that better. And explaining the purpose of, you know, learning it. Yes, they will learn the information here, and yes, it is mandatory. However, they get to take that information with them wherever they go, so they are the owner of what they learn. Then we talked a little bit more about the diversity of the training, just the watching, doing, how to add in a little bit more. I mean, the videos were pretty informative, just showing them how to add their learning style or their comfort zone into whichever way they're being trained, whether it's online, whether it's on the job, instructor-led, or external vendor trainings. So we do offer vendor trainings here, mostly in our vitamin and supplement department. However, that is another form of them training. Go to the next slide.
Just as an adding to people today, this new LMS you can really bring the external certificate in and make it part of the student record. So the system allows you to import external training, and that becomes part of the employee record. So sorry to interrupt, Tahira.
No, you're fine. That's good stuff. Actually, they've already started sending over some of their external trainings for certificates, so I think it's a really awesome feature. We also went in and we talked about, what's the learning plans. I was able to use that from the slides that were given before. Just talking about tracking the training and what's their role. Are you the supervisor in this situation? Are you just the student? And what do they need to remember, or what do they need to do to make this training plan work? And then, tell me and I'll forget, teach me and I'll remember, and involve me and I'll understand it. So we were just, trying to get to a place where everyone's involved. They have some type of role to play or some type of instruction so they can be involved and understand exactly what's going on. We can go to the next slide. So in our rollout meeting, I had some employees in there, and we were doing a portion of customer service. So this next series of slides, they kind of go into customer service. Before we went into the actual NGA site and talked about the actual rollout date and time. So we can skip this slide if you like. So it's just videos.
Did you do that one too?
You can skip this one too. So this was more so much about our policies. It talks about, training be a part of the operations. Also, that it is directly connected to our performance evaluations. So it is understood by the employee that when we do our next evaluation for the year, that we'll discuss, did they complete their 30 hours if they were part-time? Did they complete their 40 hours if they were full-time, in conjunction with their next performance evaluation? And then all the employees will be scheduled in by their department manager. So that'll take the frustration of them thinking about when they should train, because it'll be scheduled in by their manager. And just talking more about the expectation, just that we grow as a company and that we're more knowledgeable and we'll be able to work as a team because we'll be on the same page with the same training information. You can go to the next slide. From here, basically, we stopped the presentation and we pulled up the actual NGA screen. We did a little bit in getting started. So we went over some of the getting started modules so they can see what's going forward. And then we spent time actually creating, the department managers, creating the learning plans for their employees in their department. If it was a department that they did not have employees, they were able to look a lot more closely for some of the modules that they desired to take to make their department run more efficiently. And we spent time just, with the modules on the big screen, everyone was able to look through and choose and test and check it out.
So, what was the initial reaction from that you got from your associates after doing the presentation and starting the program? What kind of reactions did you hear? What did you get as a feedback?
Well, they thought it was a nice site. It was a little bit more upgraded compared to what we had. It was definitely a lot more formal, so they were excited about that. And then the format was different than what we were used to. The format that we had previous, it had modules that were just words. They were just reading. There wasn't many videos. They felt like this one was a little bit more interactive, and it really addressed the retail portion of what we do. So it was good feedback. They were really excited to get started, and they seen that they knew we were serious because this one had, the reports, so they understood that this was able to be tracked where the other one was not.
Very good. So, Tahira, we are on time. Thank you for your great presentation. We'll save some questions, and I will go to our next speaker. Thank you again. We will, just because it's 10:37 and we want to have Steve and Kelly Mason talk a little bit. So, Steve, are you there? Are you hearing me? If you are there, I would like to pass the floor to you.
Hello, Paolo. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I think everybody is hearing you well.
Okay, great. So I'll make our presentation brief so we can have more time for question and answer. Thank you, Sally and Tahira, for your excellent presentations. If anybody's interested in learning a little bit about Surf Market, we are a small single-store independent. Our website is surfsuper.com, and while I'm speaking, you might go to that site and look at a virtual tour. You'll have some photos of our store there if you'd like to get a sense of what we do. We're sort of a focus on organic specialty, but we are a full crossover market with all departments represented, and conventional groceries as well as organic specialty and local. We have 45 staff members, and I think what we have to offer this group may be sort of the perspective of a small market that may not have the resources to have as well staffed of a HR department. So I'm here with our HR manager, Kelly Mason, and she can also make some comments about our experience with the program. About 18 months ago, we were seeking to formalize all of our processes, including all the way from job descriptions to career path to the rungs on our ladder in terms of the positions that make up our company, how that relates to pay and opportunity for staff members. And I think in larger organizations, that formality is sort of built into the recipe, but in a lot of companies with 50 or less employees, I think maybe they're running a little bit more by the seat of their pants. And so we wanted to formalize that, and we're also very conscious of the fact that we work in an industry that is relatively low paying and that our staff members are having trouble paying rent and making ends meet. And so one of the things we feel we can offer is by running a better run organization with more professional team members, we will run the organization with fewer staff members, leaving more money to pay the individuals, and that has worked out over the last several years, going from 58 to 45 employees with the same sales volume, and staff pay has been rising, but also our vision is that we'll be able to use this program to create a series of demonstrable skills and certificates, and we'll essentially be sending staff members out of our neighborhood, our remote neighborhood out here on the California coast, to an industry that is one of the largest employers in the United States, and they'll be able to achieve higher pay elsewhere or in the industry or go on to college. I'm very interested in the possibility of applying these trainings for college credit at some point that I know Paolo is working on. And so we came across the NGA training about 14 months ago, and all through 2015 we're implementing it. Kelly can talk a little bit about that, and at this point all of our team is now enrolled and up and running. We meet with the general manager and Kelly and myself each week to review progress, and I think we've already seen a very dramatic improvement in sort of morale, professionalism. Clearly the expectation has been articulated that we're stepping it up, and I think people really appreciate the commitment that the owners and managers are making to their development. People like to learn, and it's one of the things we can offer in this environment. So Kelly, if you have maybe some comments to add to that, and then we can leave time for question and answer.
Okay, hi, I'm Kelly, and I'm the HR, and I'm also the administrator of our training program. When we began with NGA, we had each department manager view specific trainings that Steve and I had chosen, and we wanted them to see which ones they wanted to choose and assist in choosing the trainings for their said department. We have different departments in our store, and on average, each department staff is enrolled in about 19 courses. We began with the departments and had each employee in that department take the same course at the same time. So within 2-week time frame, each employee in that department was viewing the same video. And what we found was that because they were all taking the same video at the same time, it encouraged their ongoing success with that specific, what's the word? Topic, thank you. We began, managers and key employees then took essential points in that video and created our hands-on training, administered by the same staff each time to ensure across-the-board education. So what that is a second step that we've added to our training program, which is hands-on, on the floor, demonstrating what they learned in the video and also what they're going to be doing daily in their job. Then we had different departments view the same video. So how we began this was in 2015. We chose every new employee that came on is taking 4 to 6 department-specific videos before they step foot on the floor. And that's how we were able to begin the program and feel like this was manageable. So once we had the new employees engaged and having 4 to 6 videos under their belt, then it felt more manageable to go department by department and have those people get enrolled and start taking videos. The challenges at first were getting our managers to designate training times on the schedule and actually have it occur. Now it's just happening automatically, and the staff are excited. The thing that we're definitely our victory is that we know that all new staff members are trained and they seem excited. We have a lot of employees who've been here well over 10 years, and what we're hearing from them is that they feel more engaged and they have more pride in the company, more buy-in. They're proud to be here, and they really welcome being trained and educated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really true. Yeah, it's made a huge impact, and just because of the time pressure, I think I'd like to leave it there, but I can't overstate the significant impact this has had on morale in the company, teamwork, cross-training across departments, and it's really made our company be able to achieve our mission and goals. We're very excited about it. Thank you very much.
Steve, thank you, Kelly. I thank all the speakers, Tahira and Sally, for your great presentation. I'm wondering if anybody out there has a question, would like to address. If not, I would like to talk a little bit about the college credits that were mentioned, but let me give an opportunity first for people that are out there and may have a question to any one of you. Anybody out there that's like to ask a question?
Yeah, I have a question for Steve and Kelly. I heard you mention in the beginning about having the managers to schedule in the employees. What technique, what conversation helped motivate the managers to be consistent with scheduling their employees?
So what works for us is that we have our general manager basically oversee all the schedules the department managers create, and the expectation is that those schedules come with each staff member having a designated time on the schedule that week that will be used for training. And if that's absent, then she will be asking that person, what's the problem and when is this person going to be scheduled? And so that's been very effective is just to let, it's not optional. It's something that's part of the expectation of writing a schedule each week.
Was there a specific schedule created as far as spreadsheet?
They added it right to the actual schedule.
So we actually post a calendar on the board, you know, for each week to show the next week's schedule, and on that schedule that shows, you know, Joe is going to be working from 12 to 8:30 on Tuesday, it will actually have a little notation saying, and from 1 to 3 he will be doing online training, and right on the same schedule.
Okay.
Interesting. Thank you. That's
So, Steve, how many hours of training are you allocating, let's say, per employee weekly?
1 hour per week.
1
1 hour per week. Okay.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Good. Anybody else have a question? Yes, please.
Yes. Yeah, I have a question for Steve and Kelly. You know, a lot of these courses are over an hour. So how are we allocating just an hour a week? You know, are they having to go back to it next week to continue with it?
Yes. And the beauty of the program is anytime you leave the program, as soon as you log back in, it asks if you want to come back where you left off, and it's saved exactly at that spot.
Right. So typically a course would take maybe 2 weeks to complete if they're allowed an hour a week.
Yes, and we've noticed too that our employees are going through the trainings faster than the allocated time, and I do like to have them stop at a test. So if we'll let them go over a little bit if it means they only have 2 pages to read before completing the test and leading off of that video at a test.
Correct. Many courses have parts, so you take use of the parts that each part has a task, so then they come back, they come to a new part or a new lesson, we are doing smaller courses right now, and we'll be going for the future with that, but that's a great way to do it, breaking on a part after a post-test.
And then you get the benefit of the recalling immediately after they've learned the material.
Great. Any other questions?
Yeah, I have a question for the first presenter. I'm sorry.
Sally? Yeah.
Sally, yeah.
I'm here.
I heard you mention allowing them to allow the managers to choose the courses for their employees as they go along. Are there learning plans created for them up front and that's it, or they just switch it up as they go?
We don't have everybody enrolled in a learning plan yet. So what we did, remember what we did is to get everybody in the system, we had everybody take the OSHA HAZCOM course. It's happened about 3 times now that there's been a specific, I'm going to use the term issue, but a circumstance that a store director or a department manager wants somebody to take a specific course. And when that happens, I usually enroll the person in a learning plan if they're not in one and assure that that course is in it. If, for example, it's the produce manager and he wants somebody to take, a new guy to take lettuce, and lettuce isn't in the learning plan right now, then I'll just put him in that one course.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
But most employees have a learning plan already created.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
This is Steve. I have a question for Sally and Tahira. In your experience, how long is it taking a person to get through that sort of 18 to 20 courses that you would consider core curriculum for a clerk level position?
I would say that it's taking 6 to 9 months.
Okay, thank you.
I am fairly, we had just gotten started, so I am going to take Sally's answer and run with it too. I don't have the answer to that.
Thank you. Anybody else out there? Well, We are at 10:51. I would like to thank this great panel. I think for anybody that wanted to start or improve their programs, certainly you guys gave great contributions. So I would like to thank Sally, obviously, for her presentation. Also, I would like to thank Tahira and Steve, and Kim for their presentation. So since I have you a quick update in a couple of things. Was mentioned and Steve said we have already one agreement done, and this is we call it articulation agreement with the University of Cumberland, which is an online program for an associate degree in retailing. So individuals going to this associate degree online will have then the opportunity to use the I validated those classes that will be around 25% of that program, which means 15 credits, and this would be done with this university this year. We have a second agreement with the American Public University, which is the #1 university that the Army uses, and we are finalizing this, also hope to get it this year. And those two universities, why did you choose? Those are very, let's say, a great value, very cost-conscious decisions. We will have a name like Phoenix in the future, and we have an agreement, but it's much more expensive. After that, when we have those articulations, we will proceed to see if we can get for additional colleges around the country. This is the beginning. This year, then, we will have, by the end of this year, perhaps even by the end of the first semester with the University of Cumberland, this program running. So a person, from what I'm seeing right now here, it will take all the credits that they have in our classes, and that will transfer over, and it will need for the person then to do a couple of additional semesters in online with Cumberland, and those would be traditional requirements for a certificate, for a degree that is certified, and Sally can talk about the certification that universities need, but it will be classes like reading, scientific reasoning, mathematical parts, things linked to, obviously, professionalism, things linked to retail management and biology, all the requirements that the state has, microeconomics, so far, so on, for a degree. So we will have that. The other thing that I want to perhaps point out is that we are launching some modules about really the role of the team leader, the learner, the person that is kind of involving and trying to be responsible for the people to grow in each department, and those videos are being put out. We are launching the second this week. Is one on self-paced and cohort. We are launching one on memory, which is how to optimize memory, and using online training is going out this week. Please take a look on that. Obviously, we continuously are improving our content. We want to step up and improve the content. We just relaunched a couple of courses. As you can see, the new customer service is there. We redid the ethics course. We are launching, perhaps by the end of this or next week, 2 wine courses, and we are trying to step up and bringing new content. And obviously, we're still paying for tips. If anybody brings an addition, a suggestion, we will obviously welcome those suggestions and even pay those tips. So we will do another session like this in the future. I think this is our first trial. We would like to thank you to the great speakers again. I would like to thank to the people I see here. We had a good group attending, and then this is great to see that people have interest in the growth of their associates. The presentation would be available. We also recorded this the whole session. If somebody wants, please be in touch. It is 10:57. I thank you. I wish you a great week. And if you have, I don't know if anybody has a question. Okay. Well, with that, I would like to thank you and wish you all a great week. And thank you one more time for our speakers, Tahira, Steve, Sally, and obviously Kim. And thank you. And any questions, anything you will need, get in touch with us. We will have the presentations. And have a great week. Thank you.